What up YouTube, it's Misery's Company. In today's video, let's talk about some of the nerfs that are coming to the game today in the new update for Diablo Immortal. Some of these are a little concerning because two of these classes are my favorite, and one of which just keeps getting nerfed, and one of them is the brand new one being the Blood Knight. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. All in all, there's not a massive amount of nerfs here, but they're still worth talking about. So the Blood Knight, all right? So the Blood Knight, Solemn Snare Shoulder. Swarm of bats now shrouds you in a fog of blood mist, increasing your movement speed and making you untargetable, while also dealing damage to nearby enemies. This is the one that is used predominantly in PvP by basically every Blood Knight that's ever stepped foot in PvP. And it's getting a duration decrease from 2 seconds to 1.6 seconds. Now, it might not feel like a lot, and truthfully, we're talking about 0.4 of a second. But if you think about just how short it already is, and it is going to be increased with buff beneficial effect duration, so there's that. But still, it's a pretty low amount. And when you nerf the total amount... What? I didn't tell you to start popping up on my screen. Anyway. Downloading videos for me to react to and or record to, but that's video for a different time. So when you nerf the base rate, it's also going to incrementally nerf the percent that you're going to be getting buffed based off the beneficial effect duration. So it's not just a 0.4 per second nerf, it's actually a lot more than that, because once you take away the 4 seconds, every other beneficial effect duration percent that you use that would typically increase it is also inadvertently nerfed. So keep that in mind. A lot of people, I think, are kind of sleeping on the fact that this is pretty a decent nerf. It's basically almost a 25% nerf to the shoulders. So do I think it was necessary? 100%. It really was. But I do think it'll dramatically impact Blood Knights. I don't think it'll impact high-end Blood Knights at like really high resonance. I think that fight will still be basically the same. But lower resonance going into higher resonance, this was a great escape mechanic when you just couldn't take the damage and you had to really escape, or if you put yourself in a position where you had really bad positioning, you could get out. 1.6 seconds, and then all the additional, multiplicative add-ons for beneficial effect duration, it's going to slow you down a decent bit. So it'll be really interesting to see how this impacts PvP for the Blood Knight in Diablo Immortal. The next one is going to be Necromancer. This one I'm a little surprised by as well. So Necromancer Borrowed Time. Cooldown increased from 30 to 35 seconds. It's only 5 seconds. And I know I just got done talking about 0.4 seconds, 0.4 of a second. So like, I know, I'm talking out of both sides of my face here, but this one doesn't feel too terrible. It's a nerf, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a nerf. And I feel like when I've been PvPing on my barb recently, and I will have a build video sometime soon, I typically catch most necromancers when they do this, and I put that big hole on the ground by my Call the Ancients or whatever that skill's called, where I do a big crater around them. And by the time they respawn, they just can't escape. So like, yeah, I feel like there was ways of dealing with it, because it's not untargetability like the Blood Knight had, but like, it still sucks for a Necro to get nerfed like that. But again, Necro and Blood Knight have basically been the top two for PvP for a while now. Now, this is where I get a little salty, because the wizard gets nerfed again. I haven't even been back on the wizard since it was nerfed the last 2 times. This is my favorite class. Can we stop nerfing it to the ground? I haven't read it yet, so let's see what they say. I'm already mad though. There's 2 dots here. There's 2 dots, 1, 2 for the wizard, and there's only 1 for the top 2 PvPing. Anyway, moving on. Wizard. Nor the Hail Nursed chest. Ice armor now also reduces damage you take. Damage reduction from 20% to 15%. That is a direct 5% drop off. And I mean, yeah, they're a squishy class. Like, what? Ice armor now also reduces damage you take. Damage reduction decreased from 20 to 15%. They nerfed it by 25%. Dang, that sucks. All right, Alder Crystal. Arcane Wind now also freezes chilled enemies for 2.4 seconds. Cannot occur more often than 3 seconds. And now cannot occur to players every 5 seconds. This remains at 3 seconds for monsters. What? Wind also freezes chilled enemies for 2.4 seconds. I guess they're adding the last line. Cannot occur to players every 5 seconds. All right. I mean, that one, all right, I'm fine with that one. This one, I kind of disagree with, because I feel like Wizard is such a squishy class. again, I'm playing on a barbarian, and as soon as I get my hands on a wizard and they teleport at least once and they don't have another one ready to go, as soon as I like drop my crater on them and get my beefy barbarian hands on that wizard, I squish his brains out. So like, was that necessary? Like, it's one of very few defense options that the wizard has, and it was already nerfed. I feel like this is also one of the newer chess pieces. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I don't feel great about the wizard or the blood knight changes. Now those are my two favorite classes, so I'm a little biased, so I am curious how everyone else thinks about this. The necromancer, it doesn't feel terrible. I feel like that's probably about right to make that nerf, but the other two, I don't know. You could make an argument for the blood knight that it needed to happen. It'll be interesting to see the impact, but the wizard just feels like a straight kick in the dick. I'm not gonna lie, like straight kick in the dick. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and until next time, guys, enjoy the update, and I'll see you in a video tomorrow. Lock it in.